Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Clare McKenna. I'm originally from the UK and I have been in the UAE for 6 years now. I am the founder of Sprout Wings Coaching, and this is my passion, is really to help people and to help them realise their purpose in life and to help them overcome any obstacles or any challenges that they may be facing. And that goes along with children as well. I've spent the last 15 years as a primary teacher. So my background is working with children and teaching children, and now I would like to help children overcome any obstacles they may have through play therapies and things like that. So I first came to Ras Al Khaimah 6 years ago. Originally I had been to Dubai only. I'd never been to WOW-RAK. I really took a big, I really came here on a bit of a whim, not really knowing an awful lot about WOW-RAK. But I have to say that when I got here, I was extremely pleasantly surprised. The people, the community, the lifestyle here in WOW-RAK is really second to none for me. Like, I love the beaches here, they're so beautiful. Flamingo Beach is one of my personal favourites. I love a walk along there when the weather's cool. But first and foremost, the people here. They are so welcoming and so helpful. When you are away from home and you don't really know anybody else, you quickly realise that you need to build that community and you need that support from other people, and the people here have always really offered that to me and my family. So I think that's the most beautiful thing about WOW-RAK, is the real sense of community. Being a woman in Ras Al Khaimah and in the UAE in general is really easy. I think a lot of people come here thinking that there might be certain barriers for women over here with the perception of living in the UAE. However, I've found the complete opposite of that. People are so helpful, they're really welcoming as a woman. It's so safe here. It's really easy for me to get around. I don't have to think about what times I'm leaving, which was something that I did have to do in the UK. I feel a lot of freedom as a woman living here in WOW-RAK, far more so than I've ever felt living anywhere else. And that goes as a mother of a teenage daughter who was raised here. She had a lot more freedom being here than I ever could have allowed her in the UK, for example. You know, she was able to navigate ways of getting around herself without me having to worry. It's really just a beautiful place for women to thrive, and especially with that sense of community as well. There's so many women here who support women, and you will never be short of a cheerleader here as a woman, and I think that's the really beautiful thing about living here. Being in Ras Al Khaimah, there's so many things to do. I think people assume it's the quiet emirate, but I always find the opposite. I find that it's a really beautiful place to connect with nature. A few of my favourite things to do, as I've said previously, I'll have a lovely walk on the beaches here. Flamingo Beach is my favourite because it has the added bonus of coffee shops and restaurants, which is really one of my favourite things to do in WOW-RAK. But also a walk around the Corniche in the lovely cooler months is absolutely beautiful. Again, there are many restaurants, coffee shops along there where you can have a stroll, enjoy the beautiful scenery. But one of my absolutely favourite things to do is to drive up into the mountains, to Jebel Jais, and the peace that you get up there. The temperature is stunning. It's a good 10 degrees cooler up there than it is down on the mainland, and there's so much to do up there. I personally have never done the zip line. My husband has. I personally haven't. It's not for me, but he said that that was fabulous if that's what you like to do. But the Jais sledder for me was one of the best things I've done up there. To go on there and sit with my son and go on that and see the views from up there is just absolutely fantastic. There's just so much to do here. Since I came here 6 years ago to WOW-RAK, it's just seen so many changes since I first came here. There are now, I think, probably double the number of hotels that were here when I first came here, which is fantastic because it just brings more and more people to see how beautiful it is here in RAK. With more people brings more opportunity, and I think the more people you connect with, the more that it has the opportunity it has for you to build your success here as well. So I think over the next few years, I just see RAK growing and growing and growing, and it's going to be a great hub for development and to really build on your success. I have spent the last 15 years professionally as a primary school teacher. It's a job that I loved, and I just adore children. That's the main reason why I wanted to do the job. It allowed me to really make a difference with children, and really enable them to be the people who they can be. Moving on from that now, I really feel like I've been called to a different purpose. I feel that now the steps that I've taken are really going to help me support to do that more. And the next step of my journey is that I've created a business which is called Sprout Wings Coaching, and I offer cognitive behavioural therapies for children. CBT is infused within play therapy to really help children overcome any barriers that they might face. I also offer that to adults as well, really working with them on a level that really enables them to become who they really want to be and to really achieve the goals that they really want to do. And you know, we all face barriers at some point in our lives, and that could be for a number of different reasons. Perhaps you're feeling anxious about something, or you know, perhaps you're feeling really low or not confident enough for something, and sometimes that needs a bit of talk to discover where that's coming from. And with CBT therapies, that can really help to break that down and really turn that negative emotion or that negative thought pattern into a more positive expression, and then to change the behaviours as a result. So recently I've worked with an individual who had been in quite an abusive relationship, not physically but mentally abusive, and as a result her confidence had really taken a hit. And what I worked with this person doing was really talking through her experience and how this might be impacting her life now and her thought patterns and her behaviours, and we discovered that actually her confidence understandably took a bit of a hit as a result of this, but also it was having an impact on her work environment, and her relationships with other people were really taking a hit. She was feeling really isolated. And what we did was really help her understand why she was feeling isolated. She was isolating herself because she was scared of making those relationships. And we worked together to break that down, and to change that thought pattern, and to really boost self-esteem. And I used compassion-based CBT methods to really work on that self-kindness and that self-love, and to understand that you know, we all make mistakes, whatever that is, and to really forgive herself as a result of that. And over time we worked together on making some really important decisions, and now she's ready, she's navigating her new life, she's actually moving countries, and she's feeling confident enough to enter a new workplace, which is really, really fantastic, and it's been great to see that change as well. So one way I really enjoy to give back to the community is to offer what I've learned and the skills that I've obtained over the last couple of years, and really take them and offer them out to the community. I've been offering free of charge group sessions more recently, particularly aimed at teachers because that's my background. I'm really working on their mental well-being and changing their mindset, and one way we've done this is to really work on things that they want to achieve. And the way I did this was by showing them an app that they can use to create vision boards and how to create a real positive vision board that will then, they can set as their screensaver, or they can print it out and they can stick it around their apartments or their houses, so that they can look at it and really maintain that focus every day. So it could be just as simple as a country they really want to visit, or it could be that they want to incorporate more exercise into their daily routine, and that can go on the vision board to remind them that's what they want to do. It could be eating more healthily, it could be creating more time for themselves and to do the things they enjoy. Whatever they feel that they want to work on the most, that's what goes on the vision boards. And I really love doing this because it brings everybody together, and it gives that sense of community. It allows people to talk. It allows for that shared compassion. You know, we're all, ultimately, we're all in the same boat. We might have different experiences, but people have struggles, and that's good to hear sometimes, because sometimes you can feel quite alone with your emotions, and this is an opportunity to bring people together. And also, you know, really working out what you want in life is sometimes quite a difficult thing, and if you're sharing that with other people, it really allows you to talk and see what other people want, and you either think, oh no, that's not for me, or oh, do you know what, I would love to do that as well. And I think really having that opportunity to share those experiences has really made me see what impact this can have on a community level as well, which has been really rewarding. The reason why my practice is unique is that I use those cognitive behavioural therapies and I infuse it with compassion. Compassion is my passion. I've been on a real journey the last few years to learn lots about the benefits of having compassion, and part of that is really having self-compassion first before we offer it out to anybody else. And you know, reading the research and seeing the impact that compassion has on individuals mentally and physically, you know, it's proven to like lower heart rate and have real positive physical impacts as well as mental impacts. It has to be part of my practice as far as I'm concerned, because, you know, to promote that self-kindness and that self-respect, to then promote it within, you know, your relationships and your community really has to be the foundations of what cognitive behavioural therapy has to offer. So for me, that's what makes my practice unique, and that's why I do what I do. For anybody who doesn't know what cognitive behavioural therapy is, or who has never heard of it before, it's simply a talking method of therapy. It's very much a two-way conversation of myself working with the individual to establish any barriers that they are currently facing. It could be self-esteem, anxiety, bouts of depression, physical illness. It could be as simple as, you know, they want to lose weight and they're really struggling. It can be anything that is a barrier in their lives at that moment. And we work together to talk about their feelings and their emotions and their thought patterns around this particular area of their life. And we take that and we build in a more positive, we restructure it, we reframe it, we write things down, we talk about how we're going to really turn that into a more positive experience. And, you know, we use lots of positive self-talk, and we develop self-kindness methods and self-respect methods as well, to then really achieve those desired behaviours around those areas that currently are stopping somebody from achieving their goals. And this works as well with children in play therapy as well. So that's another aspect to what I do. Everything I've just said, we do that through play, whether it be through sand play or toys or puppets or storytelling. We work with the children in a way that they can express themselves, particularly for children who find talking quite difficult, or it might be, you know, something that they do find really difficult. And I work with them to identify those negative emotions and feelings around something that they're really struggling with. And we use play to reframe those negative feelings and to make them more positive, and to really encourage them to enable their more positive behaviour around what it is that they are struggling with at the moment. Thank you to WOW-RAK, who are amazing to follow on social media. If you don't follow them, I would highly recommend you follow them. They're a great way to find out about how RAK is growing, all the different things that are going on here, and they offer really great advice if you want to go and have a little look about things to do in RAK. Anyone who is coming to RAK soon, if you are a newcomer to RAK already, welcome. First of all, you've made a really excellent decision in coming here. You for sure have found your new home. My advice to you would be to really embrace the culture, the local culture that RAK has to offer. Because for me, that was where I found so many people to communicate with. I love the local traditions, I love the local culture, and as I loved living here, I found that respecting those cultures and respecting those local ways and traditions really enabled me to feel home here in RAK. Which I love to do. So for example, there are so many different days to celebrate, but celebrating National Day for me was one of the times where I really had I got quite emotional celebrating my first National Day here, when everybody's dressed in the colours or the national dress and the flags are waved. And I really felt a real sense of belonging and also a real gratefulness for being here. So that would be my biggest tip, is to really embrace those local holidays and the local cultures.